Brain-boggling sight, the giants were all naked except for a sort of short skirt around their waists, and their skins were burnt by the sun, but it was the sheer size of each one of them that boggled Sophie's brain most of all. They were simply colossal, far taller and wider than the big friendly giant up in whose hand she was now sitting. And oh, how ugly they were! Many of them had large bellies. All of them had long arms and big feet. They were too far away for their faces to be seen clearly, and perhaps that was a good thing. What on earth are they doing? Sophie asked. Nothing, said the BFG. They is just marching and fooching around and waiting for the night to come. Then they will all be galloping off to places where people is living to find their suppers. You mean the turkeys, Sophie said. Bone-crushing giant will be galloping to Turkey, of course, said the BFG, but the others will be whiffling off to all sorts of flung-away places like Wellington for the booty flavor, and Panama for the heady taste. Every giant is having his own favorite hunting ground. Do they ever go to England? Sophie asked. Often, said the BFG. They say the English is testing ever so wonderfully of cross colored ever so wonderful. I'm not sure I quite know what that means, Sophie said. Meanings is not important, said the BFG. I cannot be right all the time. Quite often I is left instead of right. And are all those beastly giants over there really going off again tonight to eat people? Sophie asked. All of them is guzzling human beings every night, the BFG answered. All of them excepting me. That is why you will be coming in to an Aki-Maki, and if an if any of them should ever be getting his gogglers up in you, you would be swallowed up like a piece of pumpkin pie, all in one dollop. But eating people is horrible, Sophie cried. It's frightful. Why doesn't someone stop them? And who, please, is going to be stopping them? Asked the BFG. Couldn't you? Said Sophie. Never in a big whistle, cried the BFG. All of those man-eating giants is enormous and very fierce. They is all at least 2 times my wideness and double my royal highness. Twice as high as you, cried Sophie. Easily that, said the BFG. You are seeing them in a distance, but just wait till you get them close up. Those giants is all at least 50 feet tall, with huge muscles and cockles. Alive, oh. I is the teachy one. I is the root. 24 feet is puddle nuts in giant country. You must you mustn't feel bad about it, Sophie said. I think you are just great. Why even your toes must be as big as sausages. Bigger, said the BFG, looking pleased. They is as bigger as pumplehammers. How many giants are there out there? Sophie asked. Nine altogether, answered the BFG. That means, and so said Sophie, that's somewhere in the world every single night nine rich rich people get carried away and eaten alive. More, said the BFG. It is all depending, you see, on how big the human beings is. Japanese beings is very small, so so a giant will need a gobble up about six Japanese before he is feeling full up. Others like Norway people and the Yankee Doodles is ever so much bigger, and usually two or three of those makes a good tuck in. But do these disgusting giants go to every single country in the world? Sophie asked. All countries expecting Greece is getting visited some time or another, the BFG answered. The country which giant visits is depending on how he is feeling. If it is very warm weather and the giant is feeling as hot as a sizzle pan, he will probably go galloping far up to the Frisbee north to get himself an Esquimau or two to cool him down. A nice fat Esquimau to the giant is like a lovely ice cream lolly to you. I'll take your word for it, Sophie said. And then again, if it is a frosty, frosty night and the giant is freezing with cold, he will probably point his nose towards to the sweltering hot lands to guzzle a few Hottentots to warm him up. How perfectly horrible, Sophie said. Nothing hots a cold giant up like a Hottentot, the BFG said. And if you were to put me down on the ground and I was to talk out among them now, Sophie said, would they really eat me up? Like a whittle, cried the BFG. And what is more, you is so small they wouldn't even have to chew you. The first one to be seen you would pick you up in his fingers and down you'd go like a drop of drain water. Let's go back inside, Sophie said. I hate even watching them.